It's time for more adventures in the world of mythology, heading away from the Greek milieu of the previous game and into a more Norse state of mind. That being said, this game seems oddly familiar, as the gameplay revolves around the player attempting to clear a god's name from an accusation of murder, which was the exact premise of Mythseeker's Legacy of Vulcan earlier this year. Luckily, Endless Fables 2 is able to find its own tone and style, leading the player on a fantastical journey through its icy cold setting. Now, for some hidden object criteria. It's not a problem in the least. The game is set in a series of obvious fantasy settings, filled with piles of discarded armor and simple technology, with packed shelves and lush meadows full of plants to be harvested. The developers have made sure that screens are logically cluttered, be they a god's sarcophagus or a supernatural prison cell. The screens themselves are incredibly fair. The closest the game came to cheating was a single instance of a hard-to-see drawing of a snake etched into the floor of a floating island. Top-notch visuals in the hidden object screens this time. The developers do a great job of justifying more than half of the screens. While there are a few standard 12:1 screens, the majority of them are fully integrated, either construction, harvest, or mini-puzzles. The mini-puzzles are especially well thought out this time around, offering screens with a listed number of interactions to be completed, and plenty of places to click for clues about what task needs to be addressed next. This is one of the better uses of mini-puzzles I've seen, and other developers could take a cue from the great way that they're implemented to allow for something a little more innovative than the standard item hunt. Exceptionally well. This is a gorgeously well-constructed story. As usual, the game world is broken up into a series of 5 to 6 screen areas, each one with its own visual theme, as players move from a frozen village to a mysterious forest to an eerily magical hideaway. Everything looks fantastic, and there's a wide variety of creatures who need help solving problems before they can lead the player forward, creating a decent set of sub-stories along the way to restoring a god's good name. Although, really, it's kind of his own fault that he ended up framed for murder. What blind guy thinks it's a good idea to go bow hunting? The puzzles also offer some good variety. Sliding blocks, pattern memorization, picture repair. It's a fairly tame difficulty level, although I did wind up skipping a block puzzle that was a little too convoluted for its own good. Darn! This cubbyhole is just too dark. However will I light it up? I know, I'll have a frog eat a glowworm and then let him bury himself in the dirt. Oh, absolutely. Just when the characters think everything's been resolved, suddenly a kraken attacks, bringing an army of zombies along with it. It's the most high-energy bonus chapter I've seen in ages, since they mostly focus on providing a denouement tying up loose story threads. While Endless Fables 1 was a perfectly serviceable title, it didn't particularly impress, especially with its confusing depiction of the Minotaur as an apocalyptic figure of menace. Sunward has really upped its game this time, creating an engaging world filled with interesting characters and a much more involved plot. While it might not be that original, a murder mystery is a great structure to build a puzzle game around, and Frozen Path is a perfect example of that. This review is based on a copy of the game provided by the publisher. If you'd like to watch the playthrough that led to this review, just click on the rectangle that allows you to do that. See you back here for the next review, but until then, au revoir.